Hi there, Jason here again, and this time we are in Microsoft Azure right here, and what we're going to do in this project is deploy an application on a Kubernetes cluster to create a voting app for users to pick their favorite service between AWS Lambda and Azure Functions. Of course, both do pretty much the same thing, just different vendors. Both are serverless compute services that allow you to run code without provisioning or managing any infrastructure. So first thing we're going to do is go into Cloud Shell right here, which you can do by pressing this button right here. Looks like a little PowerShell icon if you are familiar. And we're going to use the CLI for a lot of this in order to download our application and then create some containers in the CLI as well. So first we're going to use an an S3 bucket link to download this voting app right here, which we do here. And then we will, well, first of all, we'll take a look at what we have and we will unzip it. So all the files are there. There's the folder. And now we're going to create an Azure Container Registry. So we'll do AZ group create. We can do this in VS Code as well, but I find it's a lot quicker to do it in the Azure CLI. So name, we're going to call it TCB vote. This will be a resource group that we're going to deploy here. Location, it'll be in East US. So we'll create that resource group right there. And now we'll create the Azure Container Registry with ACR. That's what it stands for there. And for resource group TCB votes, we will name the container registry TCB with part of my first name, J, and then we'll go under the basics queue. So we'll press enter there, and it'll create an Azure Container Registry. It'll take some time, so do a little pause, and when it finishes, we'll come right back. All right, and we see there that our container registry has been made in our resource group here. So now we'll want to log into the container registry here. And we are going to expose the token, which will be a long string of characters for sure. So it'll do that. And we're going to save that into a notepad file here. So we're going to copy over this access token right here. And then copy, put it into a Notepad++ window right here. And then we will log into Docker here. So the URL is going to be the login server that you see right there. So you can press tab on that. Nope, gotta type it all out. And with the -u, we're gonna have a GUID number here of all zeros, which luckily I don't have to type out. And then -p, and then we will take the token that we got here, we will copy that and paste it into the Cloud Shell. And then we will press enter on that. Yes, obviously it isn't secure. At the end, we'll delete this so no one else can actually do anything with it. But the login has now succeeded. And now we're going to create the Docker image, which will push the upload to the container registry. So we'll do ACR. So we want to build the image here. TCB votes. Registry. Be TCBJ. And the file will be a Docker file with a dot. And we will do that. Or actually, before we do that, we have to move into the directory where it actually is. So we'll take a look at that. We'll go into TCB voting app. And then we want to go into TCB votes. And then we will run the command that we did earlier to create the Docker image and push the upload to the ACR. And it is completing. All right, perfect. It is done. Creating only took about a minute. And now we're going to create the Kubernetes cluster, AKS, the Azure Kubernetes service is what we're going to use. We're going to create it. So we got to specify the resource group, which will be, as we did before, TCB votes. And we're going to give it a custom name here, which will be AKS for Azure Kubernetes Service cluster TCB. We will give it a node count of 1, and we want to generate SSH keys as well. You will run that. So a couple of keys here have been generated, and it should soon enough be created in the Kubernetes service. Not yet, but it'll continue to run, and once that is all done, we'll come right back and hopefully we'll see it in the Kubernetes service. All right, there it is. That is all set. So now we have the Kubernetes service in here and in effect. So now we're going to attach the container registry to the Kubernetes cluster with this command using AKS. And we will update the Kubernetes service and specify the resource group and attach the container registry that we had before, which is named TCBJ. So we will do that. It seems to be going pretty quickly here. I want to also open the container registry to see what is in there as well. Let's go back to our resource groups right here. TCB votes, and there it is. The login server is right there that we put in just a bit ago. Once this runs, we will come right back. Alrighty, perfect. So that is all done. We see that the Kubernetes service right now is running within the service right now. And we are going to run the next command to ask to download the credentials, or ask the Kubernetes service to download the credentials of the container registry here. So We will run this command right here. Actually, we did that already. All right, so now we are going to ask to download the credentials of the Kubernetes service right here. So we will do ask AKS get credentials. We're going to specify the resource group, which is TCB vote, and the name of the Kubernetes service. And then we will run kubectl, and get the nodes. So right now it looks like it is ready. So we're gonna go up one. We're gonna take a look at what is in here, and we want to edit the YAML file here. So we'll go into this. It can be a bit of a pain to try to edit YAML files here. Let's take a look if it'll... It's being a bit weird here. So we're going to change a line up here. And it's at the bottom here. We're going to change the image here from the Cloud Bootcamp TCB vote latest. And we will set it to the website that we have right here in the container registry. So it'll be tcbj.azurecr.io with the resource group :latest. So, whoops. Gonna eliminate that, and as I said, the website associated with the website here associated with the container service. See if we got that right. tcbj azurecr.io. And we keep the TCB vote latest, so that is all good. And we will save that. And now we're going to deploy the app into the cluster. So we'll do kubectl apply -f, and we will specify the YAML file. And that deploys it there. It is created successfully. And then we'll do kubectl again to get the service watch. And as we see here, there is an external IP which we will use to access the site. So now we'll check in with the Kubernetes service again just to make sure that it is running, which it is. And I guess refreshing is not really what I wanted to do there. So we're going to go back and get the IP that was specified there so we can actually get into the app there. All right, so we're going to copy this IP. We're just going to paste it straight in. And there it is. So now, as this gets deployed, DNS is used to actually get a real website going. You can have people come in and vote for their favorite serverless architecture. And since we are in Azure, we're going to keep on doing that and press functions a few times. And this will persist even if we close it and get back. So there it is, folks. Maybe in the documentation of the GitHub, I may throw in the resource group or an ARM template to get all this deployed at once. But we use the Azure Kubernetes service, and we use the Azure Container Registry to deploy a voting app on a website for users to pick their favorite serverless service between Lambda and Functions, of which Functions obviously wins. This is Jason. We'll see you for the next lab. Thank you. Also, just to take a bit of a larger look here, of course, the IP that we put in here, you see the external IP is down here. So the network security group was able to allow all traffic inbound to this IP. Of course, I'm in the process of deleting this resource group, so I won't go too far into it, but you see here there's the address space, which I don't think is reflected down here. It created a different resource group with that. Well, it is deleting at this point, so yeah, there it is. We'll see you next time.